All right, at this time, I will call this courtroom into session. I've already made one warning, and it's one warning only. Any outbursts, any people making any sudden movements, any fighting.
Okay, sir, you're gonna have to come with me.
Anything like that, you will be removed from this courtroom. Any kind of criminal action, you will be charged accordingly.
Right out
removed
this
from this
way.
courtroom with being held in contempt of court. Does everyone understand me?
Into the courtroom itself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Understood.
Yes, sir.
Capiche?
All right, so is there a problem, Park Ranger Clarkson?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Thank you. Can I do my job now, Park Ranger Clarkson?
Of course. Yeah.
Thank
yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you
yes,
for
you
your permission, sir. What we have here today was going to be a court case for Mr. Denzel Williams, the people v. Denzel Williams. I'm still going to read through the statement of charges. On November 30th, 2019, Denzel Williams participated in a kidnapping that led to a police chase crashing outside of Benny's. Denzel Williams then engaged officers in a firefight where Deputy Michael Diaz was significantly injured on scene. Deputy Diaz succumbed to his injuries. Mr. Williams was charged with murder of a government employee, kidnapping ×1, criminal possession of a firearm class 2 ×1, and resisting arrest.
Here we go.
Miss West, is your client prepared to enter a plea at this time?
Yes, he is, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams, could you please stand up and not lean?
Lean, brother, represent.
Yeah, and if I could, everybody just adjust their movement real quick. Take their hands off their hips so we can see everyone. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Thank you. All right, I will read the charges to you, Mr. Williams, at this time. To the charge of murder of a government employee, sir, how do you plead?
West, how do I plead?
Mr. Williams, can you hear me?
So yes, guilty.
He's conversing with his counsel, Your Honor.
Yeah, give me 1 second. What is I saying? I'm guilty or some shit?
Yes, because we signed the plea
All
agreement.
right.
Yeah.
I guilty.
No! To the charge of kidnapping, sir, how do you plead?
Guilty.
To the charge of criminal possession of a firearm class 2, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And to the charge of resisting arrest, sir, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, sir. And it is my belief here that you also reached a deal or an agreement with the district attorney's office. Is that correct?
Yes,
yeah.
Your Honor.
Okay. And with that deal, sir, you do understand what comes with it. Are you sure of that? I will read it to you at this time. So, it has your signature on. Who's making that noise? Because I'm going to tell you, it's pretty goddamn disrespectful when I have to hear that while I'm in court.
You gotta do something, Wayne.
Wayne, you guys think I'm here for your benefit. I'm not. I'm here for your Mr. Williams' benefit at this time. And uphold the law in this city. But when people come in here and do stupid stuff like that, it makes me want to put my clipboard home and just say to hell with it. I'm just going to go home. Does everyone understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Every damn time we have court, it's always something.
Have it.
All right, sir.
Have the bomb.
Oh, I got C4 already.
I apologize for that. Whoever did it. I'll apologize for them, for you, Mr. Williams.
Nah, I don't care.
So the agreement reached was life incarceration with the possibility of parole after 60 years of parole, at which time a parole hearing will be brought forward on your behalf by your attorney. Do you agree to that, sir, at this time?
I agree to what I signed.
All right, sir. I'm also going to allow a few people to make a few statements here. And Mr. Williams, I will allow you to address the court before I actually impose that sentence. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Mr. Splainer, do you have anyone that would like to speak on behalf of the people at this time?
Your Honor, I can speak on behalf of the people before the officers give their statement if so desired.
That's fine. You may proceed, sir.
Your Honor, the defendant has pled guilty to the murder of a government employee, a Deputy Michael Diaz, a fantastic deputy, an officer of the peace, a well-respected member of the community, and someone who will be sorely missed from today until the end of days. He was a deputy sworn and trained to his duties. Excuse me. There we go. He was a deputy sworn and trained to his duties, loved by his coworkers, loved by the community, and his life was taken from him prematurely, taken from his loved ones, taken from this community. And more so, we are no longer able to receive his services as an officer of the peace to keep the state of San Andreas safe as he is sworn and trained to
Step
do.
outside for a second.
That is all, Your Honor.
He's gonna stab him, dude.
All right. And do you have anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of the people or Deputy Diaz?
If any officers would like to come forward with a statement, now is your time. Or anyone would like to come forward for to give a statement on Diaz.
Let me
now is your
pause
time.
you right there. Hey, people that keep walking in and out of here, it doesn't work that way. You stay in here or you get the hell out. Thank you. Unless you're a sworn peace officer. All right, do you have anybody that would like to speak on behalf of Deputy Diaz?
If anyone so wishes to, now is your time. Looks like Officer Valentine.
All right, Officer Valentine, you may step forward, sir. Step right up next to Mr. Splainer.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Just wanted to say quickly, like, Diaz was a good guy. He, in my time of training, watching him work, he gave me a lot of belief. He showed me to never give up. You know, he was always striving to finish a case or to catch someone. He would never give up on it, and he would always follow his beliefs. He's taught me a lot, which he
It was
didn't
only
know.
Diaz.
Sadly, the last time
Raven
we
and
spoke,
Denzel,
I never got to say
2019.
thank you for. Sorry for the argument, but also thank you for guiding me in that same way. He's someone that will be lost, but will always be remembered. And it's important to me for me to be able to, you know, just to say in front of everyone. You didn't get to say it to him, but you know, I never got to say the chance that I was sorry, and I never will. But he's someone that's always affected me positively, despite the negative.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Mr. Splainer, do you have anybody else that would like to speak?
There anyone else who would like to give a statement of impact? No, Your Honor. It appears there are no more statements to give.
All right, thank you very much. Miss West,
Well,
Yes, Your Honor.
does your client wish to address the court at this time?
Now's your moment.
sure.
All right, then stand up straight, please, sir.
Yep.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I'm pleading guilty, so I mean, I think it's obvious what exactly we're talking about here. I never had an intention to kill him. He shot at me and I responded fire. That doesn't mean I didn't intend to kill him. It's as simple as that.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say, sir?
Nah, I'm fucking good. I'm good.
All right. Miss West, do you have anybody that would like to address
I was gonna
the
say I
court on
didn't
behalf
regret
of
it.
Mr. Williams?
Yes,
Like,
I
that's
do, Your
probably
Honor.
not good.
I will read my statement first. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
They needed to give me a script, dude.
Now,
I can't read
know
off
that
not a
the
script.
judges
Or I'm
have
just
the
gonna be a
ability
dick.
to overturn the plea agreement. I am just trying to not have my client face the firing squad. The death penalty does not confine its ravages to the pure and simple termination of the criminal's life. It also affects their loved ones. Deandra Sweet, which is Denzel's wife, Zelda Harth, Denzel's goddaughter. We also have members of the Homeowners Association and all of his family and friends who are here today showing support. Everyone who has ever cared about Denzel will be affected by this.
Oh! Son of a bitch.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, knock it off.
You wanna hit me, bitch?
Motherfucker!
Get that motherfucker! Get that motherfucker! I want order in my court right now.
Ah, worst of it.
Mr. Williams,
He struck me first. He fucking struck me first.
I understand that.
He struck me first. Fuck that bitch.
Thank you.
Oh, you motherfucker. Fuck you.
Now the one in the gray. bring
Say
him
hello to
over here.
Diaz for me,
Hold the
bitch.
mask.
Ricky.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Come on.
Good
Who
thing
is
I'm
it?
here.
Come on. Relax.
It's me, Ricky. The real Ricky.
Denzel, I'll be back for you in a second.
And nobody knew.
Oh, okay.
Hey, look at that self-defense again. Look at that. Just saying, self-defense.
we're gonna hold you off to the side until we're done with this
5-0, 5-0.
hearing here.
How
Okay.
you doing, AJ?
You can take Ricky over there. Make sure if he needs medical attention or anything like that, get him looked at. I believe
I
we have
needed him
EMS.
when the EMS threw me in a fucking fire 20 minutes ago.
Calm down.
He actually
All
was
right.
thrown in fire.
You can take the cuffs back off.
When it
of Mr.
rains, it
Williams
pops
at this
off.
time. Thank you.
Apologize, Your Honor. I was struck.
No,
I was just defending myself.
Insulted me 2 minutes before the fucking thing.
Burns are real. I peeked.
Bandage up real quick. Oh,
Okay.
continue.
Go ahead.
He actually did kill
Go ahead and make sure we take the cuffs off, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, can I get the cuffs off me?
Thank you. Mr. Williams, try to control your emotions. I do understand you were struck and you were just trying to
They
defend yourself.
apologize.
Get off
No.
me, you fucking prick.
Will you? Can we put
I'm
a
feeling-
gag? Can we get some duct tape on him, maybe? I've seen a judge do that before. I think I
Denzel,
can
are
do
you
that
good?
too. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm good. He hits like a
Alright.
bitch.
All right, thank you.
Fuck you.
You were saying, Miss West?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just find this
Okay.
out again.
I got a little tape here.
Denzel Williams was only trying to protect himself against officers. There was no premeditation. There was no intent to kill. Is there
Don't worry about
gunshots?
those gunshots.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
continue.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay.
Happening.
He was only trying to preserve his own existence, but in doing so, another life was
Oh, well.
tragically lost. But
It's
do we
coming
remedy
from you,
that by
boys.
taking the life of another? Is that what our society has become? Is that what our great state of San Andreas wants to stand for? So utterly barbaric that the only way we can get any type of retribution is by snuffing out an entire existence. It's not right, and we all know it. The city is already filled with so much horror and violence that we do not need to feed into it and create more chaos. Regardless of his crimes, the fact that I was personally involved in not only David Barker's execution, but potentially Denzel's as well, has forced me into a deeper reckoning with my own feelings about capital punishment. Why, in recent memory, are the only two individuals who have ever faced the firing squad have been found guilty of homicide against a police officer? What of the hundreds of murders that occur every day? An officer set a man on fire and he died. Is that not murder? Where's their case? And where's their sentencing hearing?
Oof.
Where's the panel of judges for them? Where are the individuals standing up and screaming at the helm for their death as retribution? Why is an officer's life held to such a higher standard to the point where we as a society are seething for their blood? After hours of racking my brain, I became convinced that on a moral level, life, and this goes for officers, criminals, civilians, anyone, it's either hollowed or it isn't. And in that regard, we have to take a
Sav
stand
with the
today.
fucking uwu, dude.
On August 25th, 2019, I stood next to the late Assistant District Attorney Nora Dupre, and together we watched in abject horror as the firing squad unleashed round after round into David Barker, and he was then pronounced dead at 22:45. We stood there in complete silence for a moment before Nora broke out and cried, "We did this. This is our fault. We are responsible for pushing the death penalty for David, and it was our fault." I watched her cry, and I looked up to the crowd stationed on top of the tower who had also witnessed that atrocity, and they too cried. Even afterwards, I noticed how many officers were in tears, and they just looked so utterly broken and defeated. It was as if we had all collectively realized the mistake that we had made by not stepping up, by not trying to fight it, by not trying to save David. And we just waited and we watched, and no one made a move. I failed David Barker, and I will not make that same mistake today, and neither should you. I just ask, all I request is that we do not make the same mistake twice, Your Honor. And then I have a few more statements to read, unless other people want to go up first.
Are these statements from you or from other people?
I got one. Can I go?
Yeah. I have one from the Chief of Police, Vladimir Raven, former Chief of Police, Jackie Snow, Criminal Defense Attorney, Murphy Braun, as well as one of my junior attorneys.
Okay. I'll allow you to read two of those, and then we can get to the other people in the court.
Raven and Snow.
Okay.
Raven and Snow.
Raven and Snow? Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Oh, here we go, Snow. My man. Is this some kind of intimidation tactic that they're firing off shots?
Just casual terrorism.
Okay. This is the impact statement from Sergeant Jackie Snow. I have been present for every single execution by the state and the city, and I do not believe it to be effective punishment in the city. Denzel does not deserve this. I have known Denzel for 1.5 years now. Throughout that time, he has been a good friend to me. He has always been a good man who cares about the city he lives in and the people he has around him. Since knowing Denzel, I have never known him to act maliciously or ever have the intent to kill someone. Denzel not only looks out for his family, but also his friends and peers around him, which is why I believe he got into this situation in the first place. Denzel has always cared for those that I consider to be very close to, and I would trust him with their lives. If something were ever to happen to me, I know Denzel would be there to support those that I care about. Denzel Williams is a good man. I do not believe he meant what he did, and
Cop
as a
killer, by
result,
the
he
way.
does not deserve death. Any person can change with time, and I believe Denzel can and will. Signed, Jackie Snow, San Andreas State Police. And then the last one that I'll read is from the Chief of Police, Vladimir Raven. Denzel Williams is the godfather of my adopted daughter, Griselda Harth Raven Smith. Denzel has been there for Zelda before my husband, Bobby Smith, and myself chose to adopt her.
Snow getting fired.
He had always kept her
What
out
up,
of trouble
Quill?
and guided her on the right path, hence the fact that my husband and I chose to make him godfather. Denzel quickly became a part of the family just as Zelda did. He would always contact me whenever there was an issue, or just give me general updates telling me she was okay, as she, like most teenagers, hated us bothering her when she was with her friends, but Denzel was there with her. We never had to worry. Denzel came to me the day before the shooting of Deputy Diaz distressed. We had a long heart-to-heart where he opened up to me. He didn't know what to do after he had injured Deputy Forcer. We talked for a while, exchanging stories of our lives, really allowing me to get to know who Denzel was in further depth, rather than how I believed I knew him. He took my advice and handed himself in as soon as we had finished talking at my house.
That's a lie.
My secretary, Miss Juliet Thorne, asked me who I had just talked to. It was then I realized he was family to me regardless of what happens. After our talk, I knew the sort of man Denzel was. He's the sort of person who looks out for everyone often more than himself, which gets him in situations such as what happened to Deputy Diaz. He is family orientated and would do anything to help my Zelda and even for myself or my husband. I will never forget the look in my daughter's eyes or the tone of her voice when I told her he was facing death. She didn't have to say a single word. I felt all her pain, the sort of pain no father should have to see their daughter go through. I met Denzel as he sat in prison. We had an extensive conversation where he broke down, knowing that he may never see his wife again, or get to embrace Zelda and tell her how strong she is and that she'll be okay. This just reaffirmed my position that Denzel is not inherently a bad man, for the definition of good and bad would see most of us prosecuted, but he is that of a man who has made mistakes, terrible mistakes that he will never live down, that he will learn from and learn to be a better man from.
Right, this is
It
the
is with this
bottle of
knowledge of
whiskey.
who Denzel is that I can simply not justify in my own state of mind that he deserves such extremities of punishment. Signed, Chief of Police, Vladimir Raven.
P.S. It was only Diaz.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. Is there anyone in the courtroom that would like to speak on behalf of Mr. Williams from that side, Miss West? I'll allow you to choose two.
Yeah, I would love to.
Come on, no balls. Come on.
Okay.
Pat wants to speak. You can let Pat speak.
All right.
Let Pat speak.
Hey, what the? Hey, man, you're fucking boy here want to speak.
Yeah, you can speak too, motherfucker. Go speak.
I'm only gonna speak if I'm not going to take up part of that 2 slot. I'm a pat down captain of corrections up at Bolingbroke Penitentiary. I don't want to.
Sab and Buddha, I would like to speak.
Friends.
All right, Mr. Buddha, you can step forward and speak, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the court, let's be real here.
Keep it clean, Mr. Buddha.
Of course, man. Denzel's clearly innocent, all right? You know, he was just defending himself from a very stupid cop, man. And like they say, every dog has its day. And it was simply Diaz's day to die. That's all.
And thank you.
I've known Denzel for 2.5 years. We started Stroke Masters together, some of you recall. He's like a brother, family to me. I love him to death. We've been through a lot, up and down.
Yo, what up,
but one
Raven?
thing
I
for
gotta
sure, I
hear
know Denzel's
VIP.
got a heart, and is a great man. So, I just want to make sure that, you know, he gets the right sentence, and it's fair. And I love you, Denzel.
Love you too, brother.
I love you, Denzel, man.
Love you too, Buddha.
Your Honor, I would like to make a very brief statement.
And who are you, sir?
Pat Downing, Department of Corrections.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
Denzel has been, truth be told, one of our more model inmates up there, even considering the allegedly violent offense.
Buddha clutched it, boys.
Not a monster. Decent dude. For a cop killer.
Did you see the video that he put out?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Just saw
That
he
might
cleans
change
the
your mind a little bit.
walls, keeps the petty criminals in check, does his chores, doesn't complain, goes to bed on time. He's a good guy.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that.
Can I have one request?
No.
All right, ma.
Mr. Labar, is a
it's
bailiff
okay,
am I
they're there.
allowed to speak?
Yes, you can speak.
All right. I guess I need to come over to this side to say something, man. So, I'm a friend of Diaz's, and I can't necessarily say that I'm a friend of Denzel's, but you know, as an officer, we know what we sign up for, and we put our life on the line every day. You know, to defend the same people that we end up having to shoot at. And you know, I've talked to Denzel personally, and I've had several encounters with him. And for the most part, like every single time that I can recall, he ain't ever shot at me first. So do I believe that, you know, he should be charged with murder for that? I do not. I was told that he got shot at first and that he was self-defending. At that point, you know, and everything else that I've, you know, like, come across over the past couple of, I guess now, like, week and a half or whatever, I don't think he's guilty of it. But at the same time, you know, if he does have to take it, there's no reason for the man to get the firing squad at all. That'd be an injustice to every single person. And it'd be an injustice to everybody that, you know, he's positively affected.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm prepared to move on to sentencing Mr. Williams at this time. Mr. Williams, I hope that you listen to some of the statements that were here today. It's very apparent that you have people that care about you, sir, in this city. The only saving grace for you, sir, is I don't believe you acted in a premeditated manner. I believe it was a heat of the moment. It's unfortunate that a law enforcement officer died, but I want everyone in this courtroom to hear me. The next time you pick up a weapon and you point it at someone and you pull that trigger, you better be prepared to face the repercussions and the consequences that come with it. Now, I am taking into consideration the hard work by the district attorney's office and your attorney. And I do see that Miss West, Mr. Splainer, and yourself have signed the plea agreement, sir. And that agreement is for 60 years in prison with a chance of parole or a hearing of parole once you've reached the 60 years. I will also give you the time that you've already served at this time, sir. So, at this time, sir, you will be remanded back into state custody where you'll be transported back to Bolingbrook Penitentiary. Once you've hit the 60-year mark, sir, we will have a parole hearing to see how things are going for you at that time. And maybe at that time, sir, if you've shown some remorse for your actions and you're keeping up with some good behavior in prison, as the Department of Corrections officer has already stated you have been, minus the little video that you decided to put out with that phone that was snuck into you at the time, sir, we will have a parole hearing for you. So, at this time, I want the Department of Corrections to take you back into custody, sir, where you will serve out your sentence until we have another parole hearing for you at the 60-year limit. This court is now adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You guys
Sorry,
should be
be
aiding
fine,
in the
right?
transport back.
Stay strong, brother. Hang in there.
Yep.
And I want everybody in here to remember that he did plead guilty and he did sign that statement. It's not the DOJ throwing him in prison. Thank you.
It's gonna be okay,
Nice,
Denzel.
Casey.
Your Honor, before the
We got your Denzel.
I can put the time that he served.
I'd do it again, boys.
Park Ranger. Can you guys meet me over in the corner with Denzel?
Hunter?
Yeah.
I'd fucking do it again.
Are you guys going to be aiding with the transport back up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss
I mean, we
Wilson.
don't
Goddamn
want
right.
you guys to get injured. You know what I mean?
Fuck
we'll-
law
we'll,
enforcer. Fuck
Found that he's already
DAs.
served in accordance
Until
with
everyone's
60
left.
years and
At least
put
you
it
got a
on
free
for
house
the
out of this
when,
then.
Beat down crew. You're goddamn right.
All right, closes it down, all right?
Alright, I appreciate that. So I can put that in my calendar.
Yeah,
and
Denzel.
today, you know, we'll
Fuck
have
you
that
want.
posted up for him.
I just want to say.
Get the fuck out of my face. I don't want to talk to you.
Listen. I just want
Get
to
the
say.
fuck out of my face,
God,
bitch.
come on. I just was in there arguing your case.
Let's go.
Aw.
Fuck yeah.
Anybody else you want to say goodbye to?
We wait for everybody to
Denzel,
leave.
Love you, boys.
Bye, Denzel.
You can come visit him at any time. He never gets his visitation taken away, to be honest with you.
Days will be over, all right?
All right.
Shout out to Tony
Downey?
Tiger, Kurt Leonard, and Michael Diaz.
You guys go ahead.